Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. It is time to update my eyeshadow bank again. This is my kind of low buy project I guess this year, and I have done different type of low buys and no buys in the past, but this year I decided to do only my eyeshadow bank. I believe I did the same thing last year as well, just because eyeshadows is truly my kind of only problem category that I have in my collection, where I just seem to not be able to stop bringing them into my collection. So I am excited to share with you today the kind of points that I was able to earn, and also potentially the points that I spent. But I will jump into the video, but before I do that, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. Alright, so before I let you know kind of my numbers and where I started off August with, I just want to let you know that this product was created by Laura Force. She hasn't posted in a little while, but I'm hoping that she will be back soon. I miss her videos quite a bit, but it was created by her, and I do this product quite similarly to how she does it, where you earn points by different kind of milestones, and I do believe I have the same categories as her for the most part, and then you're able to spend that and when you buy eyeshadow. So whenever you buy an eyeshadow, that would be 10 points. I do have a rule that if I get gifted an eyeshadow, or I buy something with a gift card, or it's a free gift for purchase, anything like that, I am allowed to count that as half the points, so that would be 5 points per eyeshadow. I will go through all of the different categories that I have to earn points, but before I do that, I just want to let you know where I started off August. So in the beginning of August, I had a start balance of 31 points, which basically equals to 3 eyeshadows. So that is where I started off the month, and let's talk you through where I earned my points. So I will have up the categories right here, but first up we do have No Pan Left Behind, and in the month of August, unfortunately, I did not hit No Pan Left Behind on any of my palettes. I'm very close to 2, so I'm hoping to get that number up in September, but I've just been focusing so much on my singles this year that I seem to not be getting many points for this category, but that is okay. I did hit No Pan Left Behind on all my palettes, I believe, the last 2 years, so it's okay that I'm neglecting them a little bit this year just because I want to focus on my singles, so no points there. However, for the next category, which is usually the big chunk of my points, we have 10 uses. So every time I hit a 10 use threshold on an eyeshadow, I do get 1 point. And this past month I was able to earn 22 points in this category. So let's go through the shades where I got those points. So first up we have one of my Cleona singles. This is the shade Gilding. I used that one 10 times for a total of 20, so 1 point. I also got some points from my Anastasia Soft Glam palette. This palette's going to pop up a couple of times, but first point I got from that palette is from the shade Rustic. I used it 10 times for a total of 110, so quite a high amount, but only 1 point for that shadow in the past month. We have 2 different the Pastel Roses shade. First up we have the shade Starlight, which I used 10 times for a total of 50, and then we have the shade Little Star, which I used 10 times for a total of 20. So that is 2 more points, 1 for each shadow. We also have the single from Colourpop in Stinger, which was originally from the Aha Honey palette, but I have deported it into my singles collection. I used that one 20 times for a total of 30, which is quite high, but I'm trying to pan on that one in my Pan palette in order, so that's why I have such a high usage on it, but really happy with 2 points for that shadow. We also have the shade Detour, which I have used 10 times for a total of 20. It is one that I'm currently trying to hit 25 uses on, and that's why I got that extra point there. It is another depotted shade from Colourpop from one of the palettes, but it's not a single in my collection. Then we do have a shadow from a palette, and that is from my Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction palette. We have the shade Skin Show Nude Ecstasy, and I used that one 10 times for a total of 20. We have a couple more single shadows after that, and like I said, I've been focusing a lot on my singles. We have the shade Laser from Glam Shop. I used that one 10 times for a total of 20. We then have the shade Mango Tea, which is from Sydney Grace. I used that one 10 times. And then we also have the shade Giza Leyen, also from Sydney Grace, and I used that one 10 times as well for a total of 20 for that one. Then we're moving back to some palettes again. We have my Odense Red Dragon palette. I have the shade Dragon, which is in my Panos eyeshadows. I have reached for that one 10 times. And then for another shade in a palette, we have the shade Mulberry from my Soft Glam palette, the Anastasia Soft Glam palette, which I'm panning in my Yellow Panda palette. And I reached for that one 30 times for a total of 90 tracked, and the reason why it's so high, 30 uses, is because I actually finished a Franken with a shade in it, and whenever I finish a Franken, I count all of those uses for the Franken once I complete it, and they kind of transfer over to the, you know, the shade that was in that Franken. So that is what happened here. I did get again 30 points for Mulberry, and same thing with the NYX beige single that I have in my BYOP, and I also got 30 points for that one, again from the same Franken, for a total of 200 uses in combined, which is really, really high. Then we do also have another shade from my Soft Glam palette. That is the shade Soft Umber. I have 10 uses on that for a total of 120. We have another Panda palette, but from my BYOP. That is the shade Bombawi from Glam Shop. I used that one 10 times for a total of 50 tracked. Then we have two final points. We have one from another palette, well, same palette as before. It is the Pat McGrath Bronze Seduction palette again, and we have 10 uses on the shade Bronze Blaze, so that is one more point. And then lastly we have another single, and that is the shade Reserved number 7 from Shine by SD, and I reached for that one 10 times for a total of 20 tracked. So adding all of that together, that is 22 points, which I'm really, really happy with for 10 uses. Alright, moving on to the next category that I have, which is 100 uses. So anytime I reach the 100 use threshold on any of my shadows, it can be, you know, 100, 200, 300, so every time I reach the threshold, I get another 5 points. And I do have one shade that I hit that on this month. I have already mentioned it, of course, and you might have spotted it, but that is my NYX beige shade. It's like the NYX cream beige, the potted shade from the In Your Element Air palette. I've had that palette long time ago, but I'm trying to finish that shade in my BYP this year, and I reached for that one 100 times for a total of 200 uses tracked. So that is kind of where that one is sitting, and that is another 5 points for 100 uses. Then for the last two categories we have pans, and unfortunately I did not hit any pans in the month of August, which is a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And same with finished eyeshadow, no more finished eyeshadows, otherwise I would have gotten 1 point per pan and 5 points per finished eyeshadow, but again 0 points in both those categories. So that is kind of where I'm sitting with all of my points earned, and if you add all of that together, that means that I earned 27 points in the month of August, which is really good. However, we do have a little bit more to talk about, quite a bit actually, because I did bring in quite a few new eyeshadows in my collection, and this is not something that I bought. It is actually something that I got sent from one of my subscribers. Again, I keep mentioning her on my channel because she is so incredibly generous, and this person sent me quite a few things over the last year or so, which I am incredibly grateful for, and that is Kiora, and I mention her again every now and then, and she has sent me a couple more things this month. Actually, she really spoiled me this month and she sent me quite a few things. She was gonna send me 3 palettes, but she actually sent me 5 plus a few other small bits, so very, very grateful. Thank you so much again. And because of that, obviously my numbers have gone down. I did end up spending quite a few points, but since they're all our gifts, I do only count 5 points per shadow that I'm bringing in. But let me show you what she sent to me. So the first palette that she sent to me is this one right here, which I was incredibly excited to receive. This is a palette that I think is absolutely stunning, and this is a brand that I've been so keen to try, and that is What's Up Beauty. So this here is the Dragon Eye palette. I'm so happy to have this in my collection. It's such a beautiful palette. It looks like this. So you can see I have 12 shades in it, and I am currently working on doing No Pen Left Behind on this one. It's actually one of the 2 palettes that I mentioned I'm really close to No Pen Left Behinding. I think I only have like, I don't know, 3-4 shades left to reach for in here. So very, very close, and I absolutely love this palette. It's so stunning. I think it's absolutely incredible, and it's the first time for me trying What's Up Beauty. So that is the first palette she sent, and obviously this one has 60 points spent because it is 12 shades, but then times 5, so that's 60 points right there, which, you know, basically takes up the whole balance that I had, but that is okay. So that is the first palette she sent over. Then one of the palettes that she surprised me with is this here, which is a VCR palette, and this is the Mingset Etendu, I think it's called. Again, VCR palette. It's a super stunning warm tone palette. It looks like this. So this is another palette that has 12 shades in it. It is really stunning. Again, it's one of the palettes that she just kind of included as a bonus, and it's really pretty. I absolutely adore VCR's formula and the quality in the shadows. I haven't played around with this one on my eyes yet. It's one of the palettes that I need to still play with. But I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful to reach for now, summer into autumn, it's perfect time to reach for this palette. So I'm excited to do so, and again, I already know that I love this yacht formula, so it would be very, very fun when I do actually reach for this palette. But that is another 60 points because of the 12 shades. Another palette with 12 shades in it is another palette that I was so excited to receive. It's another one that she told me she would send me, and I'm so excited because it's another brand that I hadn't tried before, and I have now received from her and also got to play with it a little bit, and that is Adept, and this is the Minka palette. This is the original Minka palette. They have since reformulated this palette, but I'm so excited to have this palette in my collection. I know that this formula is not necessarily the typical Adept formula, just because this one is a very kind of thick foiled type of formula, apart from a couple shades. The shade Linda though, which I think is a holochrome, and I believe that's like the first holochrome that I have in my collection. It's absolutely stunning. I am so mesmerized with it. I swatched it out and I just stared at it for ages. So I have played around with that one, and I have also played around with I think 1 or 2 of these more foil shades. So very excited. I haven't got around to playing with the mattes yet, but so far I absolutely adore this palette, and it's another stunning one, and I'm so excited to have an Adept palette in my collection because it was another brand that I was so intrigued by. So yeah, very grateful again, and I can't wait to play with the rest of the shades in here. But yeah, since it's 12 shades in this one too, that's another 60 points spent. Then next up is another kind of bonus palette that she included, which she didn't tell me about, but I got as like an extra gift, and that is the Melt palette. And it's actually another brand that I have barely, well, I have tried it. I have a blush from Melt, which I also got as a gift, by the way, from my friend Martina. Actually, she displayed it from her collection, so that is another gift, which is really funny. But this is the first time trying Melt eyeshadows, and I actually haven't tried this palette yet either. I just been kind of prioritizing obviously the palettes that I've been most excited about from the bunch that she sent. And this one I haven't gone around to yet, but I definitely will. And this is another palette that is absolutely perfect for autumn, so I'm super excited to play with it soon. It does have like some green shades, some more kind of neutral shades, orangey red shades, and then some purple shades. Super pretty, and these shades are magnetic, which is amazing. I believe all of the palettes that she sent are magnetic, which is like, I wish all palettes were magnetic, and you could take out the singles. So I'm excited for that too, because it means I can build BYOP and I can bring these palettes when traveling, just by taking out a couple of shades here and there. So they are a quality that I really value in palettes nowadays. But yeah, this one is too, which surprised me. But super excited. I have swatched out all the shades and I'm excited to play with it. The mattes especially looks super good. They're very creamy and very pigmented, but it seems to be very blendable too. The shimmers are more kind of like standard shimmers. There's a few more metallic ones in here, but I do think I'm gonna absolutely love this palette mainly for the mattes. And I love kind of like, not an all matte palette, but a matte heavy palette, so I can pair it with my singles, and I think this one is going to be absolutely perfect for that. So that is the next palette, and this one has 20 shades in it, so it's quite a lofty one when it comes to point, because this one put me down 100 points for those 20 shadows. Then finally, another palette that she told me she was going to send me, which is I think the first palette she actually mentioned she wanted to include from her collection, is another one that I am incredibly excited about. This is probably the palette that I would have bought myself soon anyway. With like, you know, out of these palettes, this is definitely one that I really had on my radar. And that is a Natasha Denona palette, and this here is the I Need a Nude palette. I am so excited because this palette is right up my alley right now. I do love these type of like soft nude, slightly pink leaning shades. They're right up my alley right now, and it's such a beautiful palette. I am so excited to have it. I have been wanting this palette for like basically since it came out, and the only reason why I haven't bought it yet is because I felt like it was similar to other things that I have in my collection, that I wanted to kind of finish up first. But now when I have it, I'm sure that I have other things similar to this, but it is more unique than I thought it would be. I would say the palette that I can think of right now that is like similar-ish is the California Coast palette from Sydney Grace, but that is way deeper, like it runs way deeper. So I'm excited to have this one. And also another palette that I thought was close to this one is the Colourpop, what's it called, Golden Coconuts palette, but I don't think they are exact. I think this one is a bit more kind of pinkish undertone, which again is right up my alley right now. So I'm very excited to play around this palette. I again unfortunately haven't gone around to it yet, just because I haven't been going for super neutral looks, because since I just had my baby, you would think that I would go for more neutral looks, but I don't do my makeup every day, and when I do my makeup, I do it for filming, and I like doing more bright, fun kind of makeup for that just because it is my playtime. And so I haven't gone around to play with this one doing more neutral tones looks yet. So when I do end up doing more of a neutral look, if I'm going out for dinner or seeing some friends, stuff like that, I will definitely reach for this one. This will definitely be the first palette that I reach for when I need to do a neutral look next, because I am so excited to play with this palette and I am so grateful to have this one in my collection. And if you're aware of Natasha Denona palettes, these mini palettes, they have 15 shades, which means that this palette cost me 75 points. So again, quite a lofty amount of points going out and leaving my bank, which is maybe a little bit of an issue, but also I don't care because I'm so excited to have all of those palettes. And again, I am incredibly grateful, and in a way I should be like even more grateful and thankful to Clara because she sent them to me. I spent like half the points rather than what I would have spent if I purchased them myself, so at least that's something. But because of that, I'm also now severely in the deficit, because again, I had 31 points going into August. I ended up earning 27 points, but I ended up spending 355 points, which is again a lot, and that means that I'm now sitting at negative 297 points, which is basically 30 eyeshadows worth, and it's going to take me a long time to get out of that deficit. And another rule that I haven't mentioned is that I am not allowed to purchase anything myself when I'm in a deficit or to put myself in a deficit, but I can again if I'm gifted something, and that's kind of what happened here. So I will not be allowed to buy something on my own accord for a long time, but if I'm gifted anything else, that is fine. If my partner gives me something, if I get something for my birthday, if someone else wants to send me something or declare it to me, that will still be fine. But I probably won't be able to buy something again on my own accord for a long time. So if I see something that catches my eye, I will have to ask for it as a present. Otherwise, I won't get it into my collection, but that is okay. I am very happy with my collection right now, and of course I am always excited to get new things in my collection because it's fun and it's new formulas, it's new shades, and it just gives me like thrill. But I don't need to buy more, so maybe it's a good thing that I'm in a deficit now, so I don't have the option to spend something. But that kind of brings me into September. I am starting off again with minus 297 points, so not a great place to be. And ultimately right now my goal is just to get out of the deficit by the end of the year, which might be quite difficult. But I know that I am closer to finishing more shades now when we're getting towards the end of the year. So hopefully that means that I can earn bigger points as we go along. And again, getting close to going to the positives before the end of the year. Maybe I end up doing some declutters and that will also give me some points. We'll see, but yeah, for now that is kind of where I'm sitting. So that is kind of the main update for my eyeshadow bank. Quite a lot to share today, and it is very exciting. I am so happy about the palettes I brought in, but obviously it is a little bit sore to be in the deficit, but again, it's not like I'm going to say no and not treat myself if I get the opportunity to. So again, super grateful, but I have a lot of hard work in front of me to get back into a positive, and that is what I'm going to focus on in the upcoming months. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any of the palettes that I brought into my collection, how do you like them? Do you enjoy them? I enjoy all of the things I've tried so far very much. But yeah, I'm excited to continue playing around with them, and I'm sure you will see these palettes pop up in like no plan left behind points for these updates moving forward, because I will definitely try to no plan left behind these palettes because they are new to my collection, and also because I just really love them. But I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and of course I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys!